Hey guys, Bowie here, and today we're gonna talk about a lot of tricks that Terrorblade players use to farm better, to die less, and to just overall win their games. Terrorblade got a very big buff. You might think that, not losing move speed when you use Metamorphosis is small, but it's a huge change. It allows Terrorblade to fight much better, and when you consider that a lot of the meta carries got smallish nerfs, from Spectre to heroes like Slark, and because of that, Terrorblade might be breaking into the S tier carry heroes for this patch. Terrorblade doesn't have a great laning stage, especially after you use Metamorphosis already to farm a little bit. Against heroes with a lot of magic damage or a lot of attack range, even with your high armor, you can take a lot of unnecessary damage. A way to mitigate some of that damage is to use your own illusions to draw aggro, as you can see here. This allows you to get CS that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise, or maybe if you got it, you would take a lot of damage. And while you are sacrificing a little bit of golden experience, it's definitely better to lose an illusion than a lot of HP early on. Unlike heroes like Slark, Juggernaut, Lifestealer, and Spectre, Terrorblade doesn't really have an escape. And more often than not, even if you get dove, you don't want to learn Conjur Image as a way to get out because it really hinders your farming speed. And so against some matchups, against some lanes, it can be really hard to farm past a certain point in your lane because this means you can get run down, and against a Clop with a slow and a lot of magic damage from Ember Spirit, this is definitely the case. So when Metamorphosis is not up and so Terrorblade cannot man up on anyone, he actually goes for a pull, and you can see that even after the pull gets contested, he waits again to go for the small camp pull. While you have a lot of armor, it's really easy to kill you, especially because you don't want to buy boots early on this hero, because he's really all about hitting creeps and maximizing farming speed. So be careful, analyze whether they have kill potential on you or not, and if they do, this is a great way to avoid that. Since we talked about learning Conjur Image in the last trick, I think we have to address the fact that he did learn Conjur Image in this game very early. If you don't play a lot of Terrorblade, you might be tempted into learning Conjur Image to get away from ganks or to get a kill. But usually, that's not going to be worth it. If you have Metamorphosis up and you want to get a kill, Conjur Image a lot of times actually gives you more kill potential, especially now that you don't get slowed when you use Metamorphosis. Terrorblade has pretty good move speed. But when Burning went for the kill in this case, he actually had Metamorphosis on cooldown, and since he gets First Blood, it is worth it. But remember, this will reduce your farming speed, so unless you're getting a big reward for learning it, avoid going for that spell. I think a pretty common mistake amongst lower MMR players is the fact that they give up on their lanes way too soon. Sometimes a lane can be very hard, and instead of farming more regen, instead of actually trying to defend their tier 1 tower when the catapult comes, they just go to the jungle thinking that they're gonna farm more than the enemy is gonna be able to accomplish by taking their tower, and oftentimes this is wrong. Yes, there are times when you have to completely run away from a lane, but this was not the case. The Terrorblade had a decent amount of farm, and watch how much he can trade against the enemy team because he gets the early raindrops. In fact, he would be dead here if he didn't have raindrops. But because he is able to trade this effectively, not only the catapult deals very little damage to his tier 1 tower, he actually uses his Metamorphosis really well, because this means that now Lina has to go back to base or has to fare herself, and this is gonna buy time Terrorblade is farming uncontested. If you just leave the lane and let the tower fall, it's just easier for the Lina to actually find you toward your jungle, whereas when the tower is up, it's much easier to bring people in and stop her messing with you. This tip is going to be a little tricky because it relies on you having great map awareness. In this case, you can see that Ember Spirit kills Storm, he's pretty much out of mana. In the top lane, Juggernaut also dies and Lion was showing. So when this Lina is coming here, Terrorblade knows for sure she's alone, and Metamorphosis is going to be up. As a Terrorblade farm in the jungle, you want to be using the spell every time it's up. So instead of just running away from that Lina that probably will ward the jungle, we get information, he uses Metamorphosis and aggressively takes her out of the lane. By taking this HP, this means that this full HP and mana Lina that just got into this side of the map really far away from her base has to either TP back and then walk again, which is a lot of lost time, or has to fair self, which also takes a long time because the couriers are slow at this stage. This trick is pretty similar to the pull one that we talked about. In this case, he's going for a pull that is a little late, and the lane is not in full equilibrium, meaning the creeps are probably gonna meet Dyers before the jungle creeps aggro to your creeps. By using his illusion, he actually pushes the Dyer creeps away, so in this case where he's afraid, if Dyer is actually not there, he can farm the creeps and then he's gonna get the Dyer ones later. In case they contest this pull, this means the Dyer creeps are not gonna aggro to the neutral camp and they're gonna go to his tower, giving him free farm. Right here we have a textbook play that shows the difference between a very high MMR player and your random carry. You can see that the Terrorblade wanted to take mid, he pings that tower. He has Metamorphosis ready, but he sees a fight going on in the bottom lane. He ends up TPing, and when his TP is about to get ready, the fight is pretty much over. And I know that a lot of people sometimes just cancel TPs because they feel like they're gonna have less farm there because there are so many Radiant heroes. But Terrorblade is a hero that can take towers extremely well, and his team doesn't. If he doesn't TP there, the low respawn timers of a fight that happens at 11 minutes into the game will allow Dyer to mount the defense and actually defend that tower. By going for that TP, even though he's not farming, he not only takes that tower, but he uses the Metamorphosis duration to walk middle and get that one as well. Top was pushing very hard when that fight started, yet he goes bottom with his team. At this stage, Terrorblade is just not a hero that can get tier 2 towers by himself like that. It's very easy for people to TP there, and when Terrorblade is alone, even with Metamorphosis, he can get killed. He doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have items to do enough damage. But when he joined his team, especially after Dire heroes are dead, he can do a lot. So stop thinking only about how much farm you're gonna get, and use what your team is doing to accomplish the best movements possible in a game. Tier 2 towers are really strong, they can take waves really fast. But you have to remember that in the mid game, your illusions are really tanky. The Terrorblade right now has 39 armor, and that's on top of the 16% evasion that he has. When he micros his illusions, note how he actually sends them fast, so he is paying attention in the illusions and makes sure they are ahead of the creeps. By doing this, the tower attacks the illusion first, and that illusion by itself tanks about 10 to 11 tower hits. And this is a lot of time creeps are actually hitting the tower. While it's important to get farm with your illusions, once they are strong enough, you can actually farm the entire wave with the tower attacking it. And after one wave dies, that illusion is gonna be useless because it's going to expire before the next wave comes, so it's okay to lose that illusion to the tower. There's probably not gonna be any hero there getting experience, and you will be doing a ton of damage to these structures and forcing even a glyph without having to be there. Your illusions are not only a way to get more farm, they can warn you of people. When it's nighttime or when the creeps meet right in the middle, you might not have vision of whatever you're farming, especially in the mid lane. Whenever you can, place your illusions in a way you're farming, but also getting intel from the direction the enemy is probably gonna get to you.
I want to leave, man. I actually can't take how bad everything is.
Guys, I'm sorry for interrupting the guide, but I have a really cool update I'm excited to talk about. You ever felt like Arteezy playing a game?
Why do I get these players like the CM? Look, I click on him now and I just look at his items. I don't understand.
Imagine how he would feel if he also picked bad heroes on top of everything else. I'm here to tell you that besides the 20-minute weekly analysis I'm dropping in my Patreon to help you pick your heroes better during patch 727, I'm also offering a 20-page PDF file that includes what, in my opinion, are the best heroes of the patch for each position, and that PDF is going to be updated weekly. I know there are services that tell you what to pick, but they use global win rates that are usually quite misleading, and they don't account for lanes and roles and very often can cause more harm than good. So check it out if it interests you. Just an update, I want to tell you guys that I already updated the files for 727B, all the talent changes, but we're still pretty early into the patch, so it's hard to remove a hero or add a hero without seeing how it's going to fare. But as soon as that happens, next Thursday, there are going to be heroes in the PDF files and out. I am really excited to keep updating this for you guys. We had a lot of good feedback and responses. Well, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing. As you guys know, these types of videos take a lot of research, so if you learned something new, please make sure to recommend this video for your friends, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that bell so the video gets recommended to you. If you want a more premium experience than my meta guides, you can DM me on Twitter to get the rates for my coaching. In case you just got back to Dota because of COVID-19 or the compendium, make sure to hit our Discord server. There's a lot of cool people there. You might find someone to play pubs with you in case you don't like doing that by yourself. Finally, if you want to see me play or cast, follow me on Twitch. And in case the weekly meta guides is not something you care about, but you still want to help with the channel, check the other tiers in my Patreon. There might be something that interests you there. Thank you for watching, have a good one and bye.